Hey guys, welcome back. This is me, Praveen Mallikarjun. Thank you so much for being here. And this video, throughout this video, I'll be sharing every failures that I had for the past 3 years. 2020 to 2023, the failures that I had, I'll be sharing every single thing. And it's been like 2 months since I made any of my blogs. 26th of May, I'm making my first blog right now. For the past 2-3 months, I never made any of my blogs, and there are some reasons why I didn't make and why I was not consistent, why I was not disciplined in my life. And because of that, I did fail. Literally, there's no growth on YouTube with my channel and nothing. Literally, it's completely a failure from outside world. And I just want to share everything throughout this video. And yes, this video will be like a record right now, and this will be a whole story of failures. Okay, let me just start my story from the beginning. And 2020 was the year which was a great year because the world was completely in up and down, and I started my blogs in Jan 2020. That was a time when I started my first blog, and I made blogs on travel kind of thing, the travel series. The reason why I started making travel videos was because of a guy named Varun Vagesh, and he's the one who inspired me. He's the one who made me to make all these blogs. If you watch Varun Vagesh videos, ये तो बहुत अच्छी इंसान है. He's a travel blogger, और ये तो 7 साल से अपने travel blogs बना रहा है. He's so good, he's awesome. And if you watch his videos, you'll just see the fearlessness and the confidence in his life, the way he enters any supermarket, the way he just takes some hitchhiking. He doesn't have any fear. So that was the person that I wanted to be, and that made me make all these travel blogs, and that inspired me to make YouTube channel and all these YouTube videos. And he's a guy who helped me, who inspired me to start blogs. And 2020, I just started Jan month. But just after 2 months, Feb and March month, as you all know, that the world was completely shut down just because of the pandemic. Everything was done. You can't travel. Everything was gone. And the dream that I had to make travel blogs, everything was gone. And that resulted to make some of my travel blogs like sitting at home. I was making content on Indian traveling places. Like different places. I was making content, a few of my first videos. But still, I was not able to develop, and I wanted to travel, but I was not able to travel because of the pandemic. And I was just making my blogs on travel in the initial days. Then I had this story of greediness. Let me explain you the greediness that I had. This is a very funny thing. If you just hear about my greediness, yani to lalach ki ek kahani. If you just look at my life of greediness, you'll just laugh at me. And this greediness is not good for health and is not good for life. Let me explain you what greediness I had. I was thinking about the language to choose. My mother tongue is Kannada. I'm from Karnataka, and I know Kannada, English, and other South Indian languages. And I was thinking about Hindi. Why? Because of looking at Varun Vagesh, he was making blogs in Hindi, and I was thinking about the language between Hindi and English, and I was looking at the language. The Hindi language has a great number of speakers, and the number of speakers, the number of the mother tongue or the native speakers in Hindi is very high compared to English. And like the total population of India is like 1.4 billion, and out of which Hindi speakers are like 690 million people, and English speakers are like 130 million. And look at the ratio, it's like 6 times. And I was thinking, if I make videos in English, then only few people will watch my blogs. But if I make it in Hindi, then there are more chances that more people will watch my blogs, and in turn I'll be able to get more money. And that was the greediness what I had, yani the lalach. And it is not good for health and not for life. And I was analyzing all these numbers. Hindi was great number, 1,400 million people. एक्चुअली में तो अभी पॉपुलेशन में तो बहुत ज़्यादा है. इंडिया इज़ एट द टॉप 1%. और ये पॉपुलेशन देखकर मैंने सोचा यार हिंदी इज़ समथिंग वेयर 690 मिलियन पीपल आर स्पीकिंग इन हिंदी एंड दे कैन अंडरस्टैंड इट. एंड आई वाज थिंकिंग ओके, लेट मी मेक माई ब्लॉग्स इन हिंदी. तो अच्छा, इंग्लिश तो छोड़ देते हैं, लेट मी डू इट इन हिंदी. इवन दो आई डिडंट नो हिंदी, and I was planning to make it in Hindi, and I was about to learn Hindi. I learned it. I learned everything from grammar, from basics and everything, because I am from Karnataka and I don't know anything about Hindi. I had the basic knowledge but not the communication Hindi, and I had to learn everything, and I did learn. Like for the past 2 years I learned it. I learned from the basics, the grammar, the sentences, and watching videos, watching movies, watching series and web series, everything. In those days I did learn every basic thing in Hindi, and I learned it. But while making my blogs, I did face some difficulties. I had a few of my problems while making blogs in Hindi, but not in English language. I'm comfortable, but not in Hindi language, but in English. But I was so greedy. You see, looking at my blogs, for the past 3 years, I've been making my blogs in Hindi language. And yes, I was greedy in terms of the views, in terms of money, and because of which I made my blogs in Hindi, not in English. So this was my greediness and एक लालच की कहानी. आप भी कभी लालच छोड़ दो अपनी लाइफ में. Don't have any of greediness. Just do whatever you want. This is one of my story. And next, the thing why I failed was the dabbling. तो dabbling का मतलब होता है कि एक बंदर जैसे, it just jumps from one branch to another and ऐसे घूमती रहती है ऐसे. और ये एक बंदर जैसी एक लाइफ, एक dabbling. And there's a very good quote by Tony Robbins which said that one reason so few of us achieve what we truly want is that we never direct our focus. There was no focus in my life. We never concentrate our power, and most people dabble their way through life. This is called dabbling. I'm one of them, and I was dabbling in my life. I was just shifting my context from travel videos and then to another and another and another, and I just lost all my focus why I started my blogs. And I'll just try to explain you everything in my coming days. Most people dabble their way through life, never deciding to master anything in particular. I was not trying to master one single context, and I was just dabbling in every single aspect. And let me show you the different branches that I went on, the different contexts I was working on. The first thing was the content on India. In beginning days, I was inspired by travel bloggers, and I did make content on India. I was making content on travel, but I was not traveling because of the pandemic. I was making content on traveling, and I just made the indoor videos. I was just making videos sitting at home. This is my studio. I'm sitting here for the past 3 years, and I was just making all my content, but I never traveled, and I did content on India, and there are many shorts that I did. This was my first branch. जो बंदर है ना, एक branch से दूसरे branch. This was my first branch. The second branch was Beer Biceps. So you all know him. And he was making content on Indian education, and which did inspire me. And then I shifted all my focus on Indian education, and for a few days, for a few months, I did make videos on Indian education. But throughout this year, my 2 to 3 months of time, I was not consistent and I was not disciplined. This was the main issue why I failed. And I was like making 2 videos per week, एंड कभी मैंने रिकॉर्ड किया और एक दिन मैंने रिकॉर्ड किया और एक हफ्ते बाद मैंने उसको एडिट किया. तो ऐसे हो जाता है. लाइक फ्यू ऑफ माई वीडियोस आई took like 1 month to completely edit my huge blog, and that was kind of discipline, that was kind of the consistency what I had 3 years back. So then I had this wonderful person, Alina Riaz. She did make videos on English. She was making shorts and all that. She was making English language videos, the grammar and all that. And I did start making shorts on English. So this is my third branch. The way how monkey jumps from one branch to other. Now I was jumping from India content and to education, and then making content on English. So this was my third branch. I did make some shorts on English. So this was my third one. And then comes the shorts, making content on Indian concepts, yani the historical content or political content on India. I was inspired by Dhruv Rathi. He's a well-known person, and Abhi and Neo, these two people, they were making content on India and the political things and the recent developments in India. They were making that, and I was inspired by them, and I tried to copy them. I tried to do what they were doing, and this was my fourth branch. So this is how you dabble in life, losing all my focus, just shifting from one context to another. I was doing this. So I did make many of my shorts. You can just look at all my shorts here. Then the problem that I was facing for the past 3 years, so it's kind of problem that maybe it is not just my problem, maybe many of you guys may be facing the same problem. I hated the politics. I do hate political content, or yes, we do need politics, but I hate the political content, and making blogs on politics, I don't like it. But I was still inspired by someone, and I was trying to copy them. Because of that, I was like dabbling any. I was just moving from one context to another, and politics was not my thing. And historical content, I do like Indian history, but the historical content on India, I can't memorize everything. I don't like the years and those names. And yes, I don't personally like historical content, but still I was making content on history. This was my like foolishness, you can say that. And then I hated video editing. See, I had one video where it took me like 1 month to completely edit that blog, and I was not consistent. It took me 1 month to edit a 10-minute of simple video. This was my thing, where editing is not my thing. Yeah, editing, I do hate editing, where you need to trim few things and you need to download few of the videos and the audios and everything. You have to join everything, and the trimming thing is where you just remove all the bad video content and you just add everything which is the best one. So this is the trimming, and then putting all the videos and all the effects. So you have to, it's a lot of work. So I do hate video editing. That was one reason why I was not disciplined. And the next thing was what just happened in my life. For the past 3 years, I was dabbling. For the past 3 years, I was shifting from one context to another. And if you look at it, did I really fail in my life? Like 3 years, precious years of my life, yeah. Like 20, 21, 22, 23, 3 years, it's gone just like that. Where I started somewhere where my focus was on like the confidence that Warren Wogish had. My focus was on that in the beginning, and later I jumped from there to India, and then to English, and then somewhere else. And that's one reason why I did literally fail in my blogging career for the past 3 years. And these are my failures. And 3 years, guys, 3 years, and which are the most important years in your life, and they are just gone. But if you look at in another perspective, let me tell you why failures are very much important in your life. If you look at the other perspective, one thing what I learned is that even though I'm from Karnataka, even though I don't know the basics of Hindi language, the way people communicate, the way how North people talk, I didn't know Hindi, but I learned it. I took like 1.5 years to learn every basic things, and that made me realize about the way how our brain works, the way how we learn something. And because of that, I learned Hindi language. And for the past 3 years, I have read a lot of personal development books, the blogs, and many of these autobiographies that I have read. I think 3 years, even though I did fail, but the things that I have learned, the knowledge that I have gained in my prime years of my life, 3 years, they're very good. Where it's kind of a basic thing, it's kind of a mentality, the mindset that I have got to live my whole life, to do whatever I want, to succeed in anything, where whichever industry that you enter in, you can succeed. That kind of mindset which I have got through these books, that's that's priceless. Or guys, this video will be like a record right now. The failures that I had, everything is being recorded right now. And so, and what next? The things what I will be doing next in my blogs is, the first thing, the focus was on Warren Wogish, the kind of fearlessness, the kind of confidence what he had. I did like it. I wanted to be like him, but I had no one who could help me to reach there. I had no one who could really guide me, or to just push me to talk in front of people, or that kind of fearlessness to be there. I had no one who could help me, and I was just making my blogs to just overcome my fears. This was my first focus, fearlessness, back in 2020, 3 years back. And so from now on, I'll be focusing on one thing, that's on the personal development. Because the problems that we guys face in the personal development, where we do need to be confident in life, we do need to talk to people, to be able to express our feelings confidently. That is important in life, which I didn't had in my life 3 years back. And this is my focus right now, personal development, and I'll be making my blogs on personal development. And throughout my 3 years of failure journey, I have learned a lot about the brains that we have, yani the way we learn something, how successful people think, the way how some people are successful and other people are failing in many things, and the way how our habits work, the way how our brain works, the way how the neuroplasticity, how our brain functions, with all the practicing things. So I have learned many things, and I'll be sharing with you every single thing. And throughout my blogs in coming days, throughout my blogs, I'll not just try to give all information what I have learned for the past 3 years, but I'll be sharing with you many of the stories. I'll be sharing with you many of the practical things, how you can learn something not knowing anything to becoming an expert in something. I'll be sharing with you everything, and yeah, this will be the future. I'll be making all my content. I'll just try to share with you every basic thing about the habits, about the brain, and how your habits are controlling your life every single day. The things that you do in your life, the way how you spend the whole day, 24 hours, the things that control your life. So I'll try to explain everything in my future blogs. So this will be the end. So thank you so much for being here. And it's been like 2 months. I made 0 videos. I made no videos. Maybe this is one reason why like I can tell you that being disciplined, being consistent is the only reason how you can succeed. And lacking discipline and lacking consistency, what made me fail for the past 3 years. Even though I wasted many time, like 3 years is a very good amount of time, but I was wasted and everything was gone. 3 years, but still I have learned something in my life. And this is it for today, and I just wanted everything to be on record right now. And thank you so much for being here, and this is my failure story, and see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.